let's just see what we have in the tarot here. Just pull a little here. Trying to be mindful of your guys' time. All right. Let's see here. In this deck, I typically feel that it resonates more with the questions of what are you receptive to? What are you not receptive to? But, you know, they might want you to have a little bit of an inquiry as to why. Maybe look there. Because the more that you know, the more that you free yourself from that limits you, that restricts you. Be it from, you know, your past in this life or further back. Okay. So we had a clump of 3 here. I kind of had a feeling they do conversational here. It's a major arcana. I'm feeling there's just a little more here. Okay, that wanted to say hello. All right, so they want me to reveal this one last here. Flew out face down. Got it, got it. All right. All right. So, receptive energy, we have the Chariot, the 9 of Cups, and the Fool. There is definitely a balanced movement forward towards a new beginning, which is very clear here with this higher view. 3 of Pentacles, the divine is part of creating this. Source, love. There is a 3rd energy. So there's going to be some surprises for you in this new beginning that are both of assertive and receptive energy. And with the Lovers, this is definitely going to be a synchronicity with relationships, not necessarily just romantic, but definitely of the romantic nature. Also, within self, the love of your masculine and your feminine energy, your assertive and your assertive and your receptive energy, that dancing, that harmony, the recognition that when you work together, magic happens. Magic happens. The divine comes in and mountains are moved with that faith of a mustard seed. Because you inspire other mustard seeds. However, there's a sense of a broken heart here. What's this about here? So we have Justice. This has been coming through quite a bit today in the readings I've done. Because I kind of looked into the energy before I actually do the reading. So we have Justice. Notice that this is more of a masculine, but it can be feminine. So this is somewhat androgynous. It could be either. So the warrior in you is balanced on both sides. But there is this divine guidance coming down into a receptive form. Balanced. Then we have the Knight of Wands. Movement forward, will, single-minded focus, whatever terrain. I'm getting a synchronicity with a movie. Tom Cruise, he ends up like taking on some kind of a being or a curse or a power. And you just see him spending so much time in this desert. But believe me, he's a force to be reckoned with. And he's protective of what he cares about. And then we have the 7 of Swords. Now this particular deck, yes, traditionally it means deception. It means lies. It means what is the truth and what is false. That is present in every storyteller. That a good storyteller will never tell the story the same way twice. They cater it to the audience, to the mood, to the vibration. They are also channelers. our society, we don't necessarily value the storyteller as much as we did when, we didn't have the internet and we didn't have cars. All we had was horse and buggy. They were like rock stars to us. And they passed on the traditions. The story, the Akashic record, yet again, another synchronicity. Justice, movement forward, single-minded towards the projections. Okay, for this broken heart here that happened between the aspects within you as well as that outside of you. Because keep in mind, the world will mirror back to you what's going on inside of you. There is a healing, there's a balancing, there's a justice here for the illusions, the projections. I'm very clearly hearing there's been quite a campaign of psychic attack. So thoughts, feelings, emotions that were not yours. Wow. Potent. Now at the top we have the Ace of Pentacles, and the bottom here we have the Five of Swords. Now with the Ace of Pentacles, it's what do I want to create? I'm putting everything into this ball of pure, magic, pure desire, pure intention, love. What do I desire? And this constant, this looking up to source, this looking to divine for guidance, knowing that this is not something you yourself create alone, that the divine within you creates with you. The, excuse me, the concept of being part of all, yet a unique facet. The Five of Swords in this deck, the traditional meaning is pretty much unnecessary distraction energy. It's like mock combat that is just wasting time, or it's perceived to be that, and it causes just like whenever I, earlier in my experience with tarot would see it, I just kind of frustrated, like, why are you wasting your time? Why? What is this? But now when I see it, I see a deeper meaning in it. And I invite you to challenge yourself, especially because this deck highlights it. It's self-reflection. See, as above, so below. There are feathers in the water here. This is what's unseen in the physical. The thoughts, the emotions, the acknowledgments, the memories are falling into awareness. And there's illumination as a result. It's, do I really want to continue with this unnecessary conflict? Is it time now to choose my own free will to acknowledge all of these feathers? It's like when you encounter a new individual or a new situation, be it, maybe it's a job and you're like, okay, that's a little weird. That's concerning. Wait, am I even going to get paid on time? Like, why is anybody okay with this? Is this how they do this all the time? It's all of these things that come together and you're like, I'm not going to give to this. This is not something that's transparent, upfront, upright. It is something that is deceptive, manipulative, and shady. All these truths have come together and it's kind of overwhelming. That's why there's this self-reflection. Okay. So let's clear the table here of these, just to make a bit of space. And then I'll just leave the top bottom there. And we'll dive into the assertive, because we need both sides to be balanced. We need both sides to be balanced. Okay. Now this deck, I do have this deck come out in the inverted because sometimes we need to look at things from a different perspective in order to act, in order to be in assertive energy. Yep, I thought I saw that there. We have the Three of Pentacles that was face up in the deck. But I will be honest, it was face down. Or inverted. It was face up but inverted. So that's not coincidence. This may be like an overarching energy here. So I'm going to place that there. Now, when I look into the guidebook for this particular deck, it talks about needing to have, a bit of a cheerleader, this smaller figure here. Kind of like, yeah, I mean, you're a giant, but I mean, my gosh, look at what you could do. Balancing on all three of those wheels. And I mean, wow, look at you. That's so cool. I can't do that. Embracing your uniqueness, your difference, to have another voice outside of yourself. So you don't feel so alone, I guess. And I mean, that's a completely human, totally natural, healthy human desire to be aware of your difference and aware that that's not necessarily something that's gone well for anybody to be different in human history. It's typically been met with, depending at different times, varying degrees of, consequence. Why am I hearing scarlet letter? What? Okay, all right, okay. Let's see. Okay. Also, clearly that the scarlet letter was not fairly given. It was a lie that those in the know didn't truly understand, so they condemned without the individual being guilty. Ooh, wow, that's heavy. Ooh, you guys have been experiencing that, like, whoo. That is heavy. It's interesting that Three of Spears inverted, you're kind of like, you know what, I'm going to go my own way. I don't need you to validate me. I don't need you to cheer me on. I don't need you to tell me I'm okay. I know I'm okay. And others that can appreciate my uniqueness will be there with me, experiencing our uniqueness together. And keep in mind, we are all unique. Some of us just decide to conform, to belong at different times in our lives and ways. The pull to belong to a community is a very strong and powerful one. There's safety in numbers. Woo! All right. That landed upright. Ace of Spears. Interesting, because we have the Ace of Spears, or Ace of Pentacles over here. Oh, nice. Very nice. At the top, we have 9 of Wands. So this is powerful, powerful. And it ends with the Ace of Cups, which I'll let you guys see that icon or that image here. So this is the Ace of Cups. This is the 9 of Wands. Okay. So let me just sit here and see what source would like me to rock here. We have the 9 of Spears and the Emperor, the Knight of Swords, the Hanged Man in the inverted, and the Ace of Pentacles. So I can definitely interpret in the traditional, but I am dealing with many layers of energy for many different individuals. So I will rely upon how the divine source brings different aspects to my attention, predominantly. But when called to do more traditional interpretation, I will highlight that, because it's a synchronicity when I'm called to do so for some. The 9 of Spheres in the past few readings for this collective has been about anchoring in, pulling down into the physical. With this here, it is saying this Emperor energy, this balanced masculine energy that is, in their truth, that is aware of the abundance they have in the physical and wants to give, that is aware of their emotions and their intuition, as well as their ability to know and will into being that they create. It's all balancing in. It's the meeting of the Emperor and the Empress. It's like when you were anchoring it into the physical. It was like the divine was calling Gaia, calling Earth, calling the assertive aspect, the Emperor energy within you. And this is you answering the call. Now, keep in mind, this will mirror in your reality. As you answer this call, embodying the Emperor energy within yourself, that will manifest in your world around you. You will begin to see Emperor energy outside of yourself. Almost like because you have the eyes to see it, because you yourself know it, you can now see it. That hollow bone, the balance of the Emperor and the Empress within you. Getting like rubber tree. So in a rubber tree, I have this image and I believe it's a rubber tree. So I'm trusting spirit here. If I'm wrong on this, just feel free to put it in the comments and be like, no, that's this kind of tree. The rubber tree may be a synchronicity for you guys. However, they're very hollow in the middle. This image of this tree is very, very hollow. And that's because it's meant to hold a bunch of water to last through droughts that are seasonal. That's the hollow. That's where it's not about you. It's not about your agenda. It's not about your ego. It's not about what you want. It's not about what you desire. When you encounter this individual at the coffee shop, you may not realize that you're taking a crappy day and flipping it on its head and showing them that they are seen, that they are valued, that their giggly, silly quirkiness is something that you just really enjoy. And they maybe really, really needed that to be seen. That you're completely changing every decision that they make in their day just by being a kind individual. And you never know what energy and vibration is coming through you to help them. You're just being kind. That's like the Holy Spirit moving through you. It's not about you, but you're of love, so it's like you're facilitating that love to spread to those that are obviously willing to receive it. It's never something that's like a violation. I know myself, when I've had rough days at work, that one customer that was kind when they didn't have to be made the rest of my day so much easier. So much easier. So you can be that person, and you never know how many dominoes will end up being, falling a little bit different or struck slightly different and end up having a completely different outcome. Then we have the Knight of Swords, and it feels very associated here with the Hanged Man. This is like the reversal of gravity. The reversal of gravity. The ascension of the Hanged Man. It's not just hanging around anymore. He's ascended. I'm seeing this, it's kind of like reminds me of like a butterfly cocoon, or, some kind of like a cocoon. I'm not sure for what animal or what insect. Insects may be a synchronicity, but that to me is the sword. That is the truth, and the truth is double-edged. It can hurt and it can heal. The truth doesn't always bring comfort. The truth sometimes hurts, but through hurting, to be triggered is the opportunity to look at why you got so why you got so fully in your emotion that you could no longer be in your intellect, in your thought, in your logic. Why your ability to see truth was then compromised because you were so emotionally engaged. It makes you very easy to be manipulated then. So whatever this truth is that has hurt, you have looked at that and you've decided to change how you relate to that truth, which has allowed you to use that sword as a means to defend yourself, because you can see illusion where it pertains to this particular thing that would trigger you. You're like, oh yeah, I've been there, I've done that, I've lived that, I know what that feels like. I didn't like it. I changed how I related to it, and now it doesn't take me out of my ability to think clearly. So you can see this and have empathy in others, but it also means you don't necessarily have to suffer that same emotional intensity anymore, because you already know how you relate to it. You've already drawn the boundary with that particular triggering aspect or truth. It's also a movement, very clearly a movement towards realizing that you created, owning it, embracing it, empowering it. What I'm getting very clearly from this reading is that you are fully manifest. The journey of this reading is you realizing, not just surface level, but in greater detail, to your personality, to your reality, to your experience of yourself and the assertive and receptive aspects within you, and seeing it outside of you. You are owning your sovereignty, and you're feeling empowered by that. And by doing so, you have a higher view. You know some things that others don't, and you're aware of that. And you're aware of the responsibility that you hold to lead. And because you're humbled to that, there's like, oh, I don't know. A, you're not alone. B, you are more powerful than you know, because you're humble to the power that you wield. With this 10 of Wands and this Ace of Cups, like, you're aware of this burden. You're aware of the responsibility. But you put down the 10 of Wands. You're now in that 9. You're in that, oh my gosh, oh, I finally put down that burden. Okay. Now I get to give. I get to receive love. I get to give and receive love. And this is the divine spark. This is the divine's contribution. You are the physical body. This is the divine's contribution. This, I would say, is more than likely going to be Gaia. The physical manifestation of union with the divine is the physical form. That is why they say that the divine is always with you. Because you are the physical manifestation of divinity in form. That's why you are a part of all, yet you are unique. And you realize that in putting down that burden of the 10. And like the 9 of Wands is typically going to be like your PTSD. You've worked through all the layers of trauma, all the things that trigger you. And you have developed a process. You've developed a process of how to relate with changing that you just don't want to be in that emotional state anymore. So how do you change it? You have your own way of doing that that's unique to you. And you've worked through those layers. You've worked through that. The divine, the love within me, honors the divine and the love within you. Namaste. Thank you so much for co-creating this beautiful reading. You guys are, each and every one of you, beautiful, unique facets of the divine, and I am honored to have been the hollow bone that this message has reached you through. Thank you. Please do like, share, comment, subscribe, so that more individuals, when it is their time to receive this reading, they're more likely to encounter these synchronicities. If you found some solace and some comfort here, some validation, I invite you to do so. Thank you.